Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video review. My name is Lee. I'm your virtual airline pilot today. Those of you who follow my videos may recognize this view. Yep, we're back in southern France and we're also back in Marseille. However, this is a scenery by a different developer. Those of you who followed my reviews may have seen I recently did a review of Marseille Airport by FRANCEVFR. Well, today we're doing the review by Beautiful Model of the World. I think this is a single man operation, a nice chap called Alexei, and he has his own website as well, but he's created Marseille, and I was advised by a subscriber to have a good look at this, and Alexei very kindly sent me a copy for review, which is really kind of him, and so today we're going to have a look at it. So, this is Marseille International Airport in France. It's on the Côte d'Azur. Lima Foxtrot Mike Lima. It's the payware scenery by Beautiful Model of the World this time. And it's for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads at 395 meg and installs at just under a gig. It's actually about a gigabyte. Now currently this is only available at Orbix. Alexei does have his own website. Basically he has a number of up to 30 odd sceneries there, which can be obtained for a small subscription to that site. However, those are technical issues at the moment, which means that that's not possible. There are a number of his sceneries available at Sim Market. Unfortunately, Marseille isn't one of them, but it is available for purchase at the Orbix website. And the price, it's €19.20, which equates to roughly $18.80 or £16.77 UK. Note that those prices are all estimates and they do not include VAT or tax, which of course may vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. So remember to add tax to those prices. As I said, Alexei has his own website which is available, however purchases cannot be made yet due to technical issues, so Orbix is where you'll need to head to if you want to purchase this scenery. But for those of you who looked at the FRANCEVFR version, or those of you who got it as well, here's a chance for you to have a look at Alexei's version and see what you think. So I'll quickly go through the history, same as I did with the other one, in case those of you are watching that haven't seen the other review. So, history for you then. Marseille Provence Airport, Lima Foxtrot Mike Lima, is a public use international airport operated by Marseille Provence Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the CCI. It's located just 17 miles, or 27 kilometers northwest of the city of Marseille, in the territory of Marseilles, in the province Alpes de Côte d'Azur region of France. I'll put those up because my French isn't brilliant. In the 1920s and 30s, Marseille Airport, as it was known then, was one of the main airports in France where flying boats operated. In addition, it briefly served as a terminal for Pan American World Airways Clipper flying boats. Other flying boat operators were Aerospatiale and Air Union, the latter moving over from Antibes in 1931. Marseille was also a production site for hydroplanes by Loire et l'Olivier, and is the fixed wing base for Sécurité Civile, the aerial firefighting division of the French Ministry of the Interior. You'll also find the head office of Airbus helicopters located on the airport as well. In September 2006, the airport opened its new terminal for budget airlines. In 2013, the airport expanded its shopping and dining options with 30 new shops and restaurants, among which was the first Burger King restaurant in France since 1997. Over 35 airlines operate into and out of Marseille, including the national carrier Air France, EasyJet, British Airways, Ryanair, Lufthansa and TAP Air Portugal, just to name but a few. Interesting fact, on 26th of December 1994, Air France Flight 8969, with 236 people on board, arrived in Marseille after being hijacked 2 days earlier by 4 men claiming to be from the Ahmed Islamic Group, GIA, at Algiers. After 15 hours on the ground and a breakdown in negotiations, the French Special Forces stormed the aircraft. In the ensuing firefight, all 4 hijackers were killed, while 3 crew, 13 passengers and 9 members of the Special Forces were injured. The French-registered Airbus A300, registration Foxtrot, Golf Bravo Echo Charlie, was completely written off. So there you go, that's a bit of history for you. Let's have a look at the runways now. So as usual, I've lowered the lighting down. It's now just after 5:30 in the evening, to show you the runways and the lighting generally. So Marseille Airport operates 2 main runways. Runway 13 left, 31 right measures 11,286 feet or 3,440 meters in length and is made from asphalt. Runway 13 right, 31 left is the shorter of the 2, measuring just 7,776 feet or 2,370 meters in length and is also made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 70 feet or 21 meters. Runway 13 left, and we're looking down the throat of it now, is equipped with an instrument landing system certified for Category 3B low visibility operations. So this runway is the one you're going to use when the weather is really bad, subject to winds. This runway also features high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, and the latest charts show no precision approach path or vase eyes or other such landing aids on the runway. As you can see, if you look to the right there, you can see one runway 13 right does have a PAPI, but the main one that we're looking at with the full Category 3B ILS doesn't, and that's correct as per the charts. So a quick look at 13 right then. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 13 right, which features a standard instrument landing system, runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators on the left side of the runway. Again, that's as per the charts and that's all correct. We also see there are centerline lighting on both runways as well. So let's pop down the other end of the runways and have a look at them. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 31 right, which also features an instrument landing system. It's a standard one, runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators again on the left side of the runway. And finally a look at runway 31 left. So here we are looking at runway 31 left, which features runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators again on the left side of the runway. Now if you look at this version here, you'll see there's a shadow here which indicates that actually the PAPIs were there, but in the scenery for some reason they're not showing. I don't know if that's an Asobo glitch or whether it's a glitch by the developer, but in the charts say there's a PAPI there, and here in the scenery clearly the PAPI isn't showing. And finally, all runways feature RMP or RNAV approach options as well as the instrument landing. Runway 31 left, this one that we're looking at now, does not have an ILS. However, it does have a VPT. It's basically it's a visual maneuvering with prescribed track approach. It's a rather different kind of approach, but that option is available for landing on this runway. So that about does it for runways. Let's quickly go and have a look at jetways and do a jetway test. Okay, jetways. So here we are back on the same stand as we were in the other scenery, the other version. As you can see, the jetway, the modelling looks a little bit better. It's got more in terms of advertising hoarding, and does the ground clutter. So let's test the jetway. So that looks like it works quite nicely. Once again, the stairs, as you can see, sink into the tarmac. This is common to a lot of jetways, unfortunately, but nothing we can really do about it. And that's a pretty decent connection. It doesn't look as though it's gone through the skin. Let's get a closer look. Right, from here, that looks pretty flush. And from this side you can see it has not gone through the skin. It's pretty good, but unfortunately, of course, the rubber part of the top hasn't completely covered the aircraft. This may be just limitations to the simulator, I don't know. Jetway's in good condition, everything looks really good. It's weathered, advertising's there, which was kind of missing in the other scenery. Let's undock the jetway. So that works, that looks pretty nice. The animation is quite nice, and the jetway actually is quite nicely built. Quite really nicely detailed. So that does it for the jetway test. So there was your jetway test. Everything seems to work okay. I'll give you some initial thoughts. That I think this scenery is at least as good as the FRANCEVFR version, but in many ways it really kind of exceeds that, because the developer has done a lot more work on the ground, particularly in terms of replacing photo scenery groundwork with 3D modeling, and you'll see quite a bit of that as we look around here. And also in this scenery, for the first time I've seen in a scenery ever, there's a tunnel. I'll show you that tunnel a little later as we go and have a look at things. It also has some really nice and subtle dusk lighting, which we'll get into later. So for now, let's get down and have a look, have a little tour across the ramp and see what we think. Okay, so first of all, passing along the helicopter base here, you've got some military ones. You've also got Airbus helicopters there to the right. I like the way the buildings have been done. They've been modelled, and the groundwork there as well, texturing helicopter parking areas. There's the fire station. And here the quality of the outside of the buildings is at least as good as the FRANCEVFR version. Lots of weathering's been added. Generally does look really nice. And as you can see, the ramp and the ground details, as well as the foliage and fauna, look really good. There's a lot more ramp detailing generally than there is in the FRANCEVFR version. Here we are looking at the jetways and the terminal up close, and as you can see, the ground detail is really excellent. Lots of ramp clutter, which is good. Cones. There you've got building works going on at the airport at the moment, and so there you've got the crane. There you can also see the airside road, nicely modelled, complete with signs. Don't really know why I'm getting a bit of judder in here. I didn't before. But anyway, suffice it to say that normally I don't get it, so maybe I haven't defragged the drive before I've done this. But there's my aircraft. There we go, it's finally stopped. But as you can see, the quality on the building looks great, even right down to the ground. It's really quite impressive. Quick look at the control tower. There you can see the old one on the right hand side, the lower one. Now there is no internal modelling in the tower, but the tower is it is modelled inside as such, so that you can get in it like that. There's just no detail further within the tower. And continuing the airside tour, as you can see, the building modelling is really quite nice. Quite a bit to see around here. Just go across to the cargo side. It all looks really quite nice. Again, beautiful building modelling, and again the roads and the detail hasn't been left to photo scenery. It's all been nicely done, including the car parks there, as you can see, right down to the last bits and pieces. Really excellent. Here's the FedEx location, cargo location. And there's more buildings down there off the airport which look really quite nice. The cruiser out there in the bay is also part of the scenery. So returning again back towards the cargo area, here's a close look at the coastline. And again, modelling is really nice on the buildings. Another couple of ships there in the bay, which are also part of the scenery. I did have a look at the VFR, FRANCEVFR one and the default to make sure that they weren't added by Asobo or anybody else. Really nicely modelled buildings. Right down to the roof line there. Really, really good. So while we're here, let's just have a quick swing out onto the taxiway, have a look at some of the signage. As you can see, taxiway is well defined. Signs are good. Blue airfield edge lights. Wigwag lights. Now let's see if they work. Okay, so they're there, but they're not lit, or certainly they're not lit during the day. So we swing back towards the terminal area and hop across the land side and have a look at the detail. There's a lot of it, to be honest. And again, here you can see the attention to detail on the modelling of the buildings, which is really, really nice. Done an excellent job. Even the tops of the buildings look good. So let's get down to road level. Some nice buses. And that's a nice touch. Some of the windows are open on the building there. So we've got some taxis, and again you see the building itself is nicely modelled with the arrivals and various signs all crisp and clear, and again the ground has been modelled in 3D. It's not been left to photo scenery. Okay, most of you pilots won't ever see this if you're not particularly interested in it, but again I'll repeat, the simulator gives us the ability now to model airports in such detail, and this is the sort of thing that developers are capable of with the new simulator and the degree of modelling it gives us. And again here, the multi-storey car park, cars, all of the parking spots properly delineated, various bits of signage. I mean, it all looks pretty realistic. To their left there you can just see the fence lines. There's a couple of airside buses. And we continue the tour a little bit further over here. So you can see some of the slightly off airport buildings here, or landside buildings that have been developed. Everything down to Eurocopters, Airbus helicopters and stuff that's over here as well. Nice foliage, couple of palm trees, all looks really good here. Plenty of light poles as well. So there's the fire station on the left there, where the fire truck's just outside. Here you've got various helicopter landing spots. There's the Airbus helicopters on the left. And we've got two nice models up here. We've got a Chinook and we've got a Black Hawk helicopter. Very nice indeed. And as you can see, it all fits nicely. Just a quick look there at the long displaced threshold. So let's pop across and look to the northern side. The southwestern side. get my angles right here. Windsocks there. Got all the appropriate signage you need for crossing on the runway. Thankfully I haven't seen any vehicles taxiing up and down the runway, which is good. So a handful of off-airport buildings here. And then we get closer. Now just to the right here, just here is the VIP parking spot. Here you've got some more hangars. Again, no interior development on these, but all nicely done, beautifully done here. And again, buildings as per the real world, judging by the photo research I've done. Right, so now I'm going to show you this tunnel. I'm really quite impressed with this. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like this in a scenery. And it was actually a little highlight the developer pointed out to me when he sent me the file to have a look at. So just around here, look, hidden just to the right, got this little roundabout here. And here is a tunnel. Very nicely done. Now I think this is the first tunnel I've ever seen in the scenery. I might be wrong. Well, there you go, it comes out the other side and now we go down to the airside roads. And once again you've got some nice modelling, especially with the way the windows look. And I'm just going to stop here for a second, because here you can just see evidence of internal development. Now he hasn't done a lot, as far as I can see he's just done airside. Let's pop in. So there you go, inside development here. So a little pass along here. Now look, you've got that high resolution on the image there on the left that gives you the impression that you've got duty-free shops there. Gives you kind of depth of feeling, if you like. A couple of check-in desks there on the right. And again you can see out through the windows onto the airside ramp. Looks really quite good. And again you've got this high resolution image on the left, which kind of produces a nice effect. Departure signboards are reasonably clear. They're not totally clear when you get up close, but they look perfectly okay. Just looking back the other way to make sure the signs are correct and not backwards, and they are correct. So once again, quickly having a look outside. As you can see, the airside road and the ramps generally all look really impressive. And I'm going to stop here again, because again you can see this, the other part of the terminal has also been done airside. Let's go and have a look. So there we are, internal development on this part of the terminal, and actually this has been done slightly more. You've got gate signs and there are people. Let's have a little traverse through here. I mean, this looks really nice. Not really sure why he's opted to just do this one rather than not the other one to the same level of detail. But no, it's fine, we'll have a look. Some nice static people here. Very nice. Very pleasing. As you can see, it's a handful of people. They're not everywhere. They're just kind of clustered in this small local area. Just going to go up a bit. And there you can see the upper level on the right hand side there. Okay, so we're back landside again. I just want to have a look at the area around the car parked here. You've got the car rental companies here, which is good. Nicely modelled buildings there. And the various barriers, bits and pieces here. Well, it all looks really quite pleasant. And there you can see you've got road signs, overhead road signs as well here. And here's a gas station, or a petrol station as we say in the UK. And that's quite nicely modelled. It's a bit more detailed than the average petrol station I get to look at. Now there are three hotels off airport. The Ibis has two. There's the Ibis Hotel, the Ibis Budget. This is the Ibis Hotel, this is the Ibis Budget, and there's the Best Western on the other side of the roundabout. They're modelled but not in the same detail as they were in the FRANCEVFR. But again, quickly passing over landside a little bit further out here, and just more examples of good modelling, good detail. See, even this car park way off the back of the airport has been modelled in 3D and not left to photo scenery. Nice buildings here, and many of these are lit up quite nicely during the dusk hours, which we will have a look at next. Very nicely done indeed. So there we are. There's a fairly extensive tour landside and airside during the day. Let's bring the dusk lighting along and see what it looks like. Okay, I've just managed to get the lowest dusk where the lights come on. It's just after 5:30 local time in the evening, and now here's the main ramp with the two terminals side by side. You can see vehicles going up and down there. Lights are lit. The light poles look really good. Don't seem to be too many Asobo globes at all airside. I have to say, this far away the ramp lighting looks a little bit low, but actually when you get up close it looks a lot brighter. So I think it's just the way the scenery displays rather than a lack of light, if you will. But of course you can see there are green centerline lights, and they're actually glowing, and I'll show you in a minute. You can see the blue airfield edge lights, you can see the glow quite nicely. There is some lighting on the southwestern side here, the buildings over here. We'll look at that closely in a minute. And there in the other direction, looking towards the fire station, which is here, and the Airbus helicopter base, which is here. I just want to watch these two vehicles just to make sure they don't actually go onto the runway. I'm pretty sure they don't. Couple of signs down here which you can see are nicely lit. One thing we will do is check the wigwags. Good. Vehicles seem to be staying within the confines of the taxiways, which is good. Here's the other taxiway that's closed. Yep. So let's get down and have a quick look at some of the signage. So here's our example of one of the taxiway signs, perfectly clear and perfectly well lit, and here you can see the glow effect of the lights, which I really like actually. It's very nice. So here's a closer shot from closer to the ground. Here you can see the glow a lot better, and here you've got wigwags, but they're switched off, they're not working. The author has said that Alexei has said that he will add updates to this as time goes on. No, perfectly okay, no problem at all. So very quickly a view out of the cockpit for you, looking towards the terminal, and here you can see what I mean about the lighting situation. It looks a lot better when you're closer onto the ramp. Looking at it from farther away is basically just a sort of it's a limitation of the simulation, I think. View from the first ops from the captain's side, and a view through the first officer's window. So another quick pass over here to see if the wigwags work there. No, they don't. So we've got wigwags on the taxiways, but they're not actually switch on, they don't work. But as you can see, the glowing lights look great. Okay, so a quick pass the other way now, looking at the ramp. There's the helicopters and the Airbus helicopter base. Coming up to the fire station, which actually I would have expected to be a bit more lit than it currently is. However, generally the lighting looks really good. There is quite extensive use of asobo globes, but I suppose really in the scenery like this they do actually work. So a quick pass over the airside ramp first, so you can look at the lighting generally. I mean, it looks pretty good, and you've got the green taxiway lights, centerline lights as well, which are going to be a huge help. There's my aircraft. We're just going to stop here. So there's my aircraft. There's the airport sign on the building as the crane landside, and as you can see in through the windows because the inside of the airside terminal is lit, which is really nice. Nice effect. And there, looking in the other direction, there's the rest of the terminal before it goes up towards Terminal 1. The control tower has partial lighting, which looks quite pleasant. Let's continue the tour. So here we are coming across to the cargo side. Here's the DHL building. Just basic lighting really, but it does look better the closer you get. You've got a little bit of light on one of these yachts here, and the other one isn't really lit at all. Let's go around the rear end of the cargo. There's UPS on the right there. It all looks pretty nice. Now here you've got some really nice, I hesitate to use the word parallax because it's not, but what they've done is adapted the lighting here in the building so it looks a lot better than just seeing bland colours. It really does look as though the building's occupied. So let's go across landside towards the terminal and have a look, and in a moment we'll go back airside. I'll show you the tunnel. It looks nice. This looks very nice indeed. So Terminal 2 is this end. Once again, nice coloration on the building. This is Terminal 1. And nice signs on the outside of the building. Lighting's really nice. The rental car agency's on the left there. And the cranes and other bits and pieces on the right, and the multi-story there nicely lit as well. Very nice indeed. And as we come a little bit further southeast towards this part of the airport, here you can see some of the buildings are lit. Some aren't, some are just basically lit, but some of them are lit in such a way that you get this really nice effect here. And downlighting on some of these buildings looks really good. So here we are back airside, and I promised to take you down the tunnel. Let's have a look at the tunnel again from this side in the other direction. Again, some nice lighting on the buildings here. Down lighting on the buildings here that gives the tunnel a little bit of light, which is good. And some nice signage. I do like the way he's promoted himself here on the tunnel. Very nice indeed. Sorry, but I do like this. So there you go, a little trip through the tunnel at night time. But everywhere you look, the quality is great. The concrete there even looks good. And he's modelled the ground very, very nicely. He's taken a lot of care to model the ground and to provide lighting in various places. So here we are again on the southwest side of the airport with the big hangars. Some nice drop lighting there, some just subtle lighting around. No internal development, of course, but that all looks quite pleasant. And the same again here. Just a little bit of lighting. I mean, I'd like to see this ramp area lit up a bit more than it is, personally. But, you know, it's fine. It's very, very pleasant. And here we are passing over the northern end of the 2 runways by the coast. We'll just swing very quickly along here. Again, I can't see any of the wigwags working, but you can see that wonderful glow on the green centerline taxiway lights. I like that a lot. And here along the coastline, again, beautiful lighting provided properly by the lamps. All looks really good. So we'll just continue slightly off airport here. Again, this looks really good. Now this building here we're coming over the top. This is the budget Ibis Hotel. And literally right across from it here in the darkness just below us as we're passing over it is the Ibis Main Hotel. And as you can see here, we look at some of the buildings off the airport and you've got this lovely effect in the windows that gives you this feeling that everything's going on in there, and it's really, really good. Very impressed with that. I mean, visually it's stunning. So there at the airport at dusk, the light's fading fast now. Let's quickly drop it down to night and have a quick look with a few shots. I'm not going to go into huge details, I don't want this video to be too long. Well, let's drop the lighting down to night time. Okay, so 9:15 in the evening local time, and as you can see the sun is well and truly gone. And the lighting has come up a bit, particularly land side looks really quite good there. And a quick look out of the cockpit. As you can see, not a lot of difference really in the lighting, although it does appear to have come up a little bit. It's a view out of the front side and the captain's side. Okay then, a quick look at the terminal at night time from airside. Here's my aircraft parked on stand 1, and nice to see the ends of the jetways lit there as well. And the lighting generally has been extremely well done in my opinion. And they're looking in the other direction. And again, you can see inside the terminal here, and raising up a little bit, you can see the lighting spread all over the airport. Looks really good. There's the tunnel we went through. It's a very nice feature. I think two of my most impressive things here are the tunnel and the quality of the lighting and the 3D ground topography that's been done. and that's not been left to photo scenery. Those are probably my big highlights here. And here with the night time down, you can see the green centerline taxiway lights and you can see the glow, and this is probably the other major highlight that I like about this scenery. The glowing lights look really good and they enhance your ability to taxi around. And there we are looking towards the Airbus helicopters hangar and the fire station in the distance. Probably my only first thought is the fire station could be better lit and maybe a couple more fire tenders added. There's not a lot there to actually identify it, and the fire station, funny enough, isn't actually identified on the chart, whereas in most cases it is on many other charts, but not on this one. So I had to look carefully to make sure I identified the correct building. So there you go, that was the airport at night for you. Some really nice lighting. The whole thing looks great. It comes to life just like many other airports do. Let's bring the dawn up. So there you are, 7:20 in the morning. It's just before the lights disappear. Sun's beginning to come up. Looking towards the southeast, the sun will come up behind that hill. And looking out towards the coast to the north there with the cruise ship in the distance. And here on the west side of the airport, the two hangars and the private aircraft. Okay, 9:15 in the morning now, and time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. Okay, do I think it's worth it? Yes, I do. The amount of work and detail that's gone into this is huge. In terms of comparison, okay, there's a big difference in price. The FRANCEVFR product comes in at a measly €9.90, whereas this is €19.20 plus tax. So there is a huge difference in price. Things to say about this really. The FRANCEVFR scenery is excellent, but it does rely on a lot of photo ground scenery. They've placed their work on top of that layer, and it works. It's perfectly okay, and I think the scenery is good and it's well priced. However, if you want something better with more detail and certainly more attention to detail all over the airport, then the Beautiful Model of the World version that we've been reviewing today actually takes the cake. I think it works. I think the price is right, again, for the level of detail. He's added detail in the airside departures lounge of the ramp with some static people. Pretty much everywhere has been 3D modelled. There's hardly any photo ground at all. It's been really nicely done. No expense has been spared. The buildings look great. There's weathering on the buildings. Okay, there's nobody inside the control tower, but the airport in its entirety is really nicely modelled. The only thing I can find, as I say, the only quirk I can find is the lack of the pappies on one of the runways as per the charts, which I've discussed during the runways there. So that needs to be fixed perhaps. Be nice to have the control tower interior developed, couple of controllers, and the fire station, a bit more development around the fire station, one of the most important buildings on the airport, first response and all that. The only other thing is FRANCEVFR have modelled the 3 hotels landside quite nicely and fairly accurately too, whereas they are there in the scenery here, but they're not really that well modelled. Although the buildings actually do look slightly better. One of the buildings, I think it's the Budget Ibis Hotel, is actually the wrong colour in this scenery. But these are nitpicks. As pilots, everything you need, with the exception of the missing pappies on one of the runways, is there. I love the ground lighting, particularly at night. The green centerline lights glow beautifully, as do the blue edge lights. Be nice to have the wigwags working. I don't know if that's an Asobo issue or whether it's a scenery issue. But the lighting looks really lovely. Really not much to complain about this. I do think it's worth €19.20 plus tax, because of the amount of work that's gone into it. Not least of which the fact that he's basically overtouched all of the photo ground scenery to make it look more real, and everything fits in. And again, you've got a tunnel here for the first time that I've not seen it in the scenery anywhere else. It all looks great. So if you want something straightforward, that's cheap, and that does the job. The FRANCEVFR product is excellent, no question about it. It's more than adequate. But if you want something far more top of the line, if you want the cream of the crop of the two sceneries, then Beautiful Model of the World currently, in my opinion, takes the cake and is the better of the two in terms of the amount of work done here. But make no mistake, both sceneries are excellent and they're both worth their prices and worth buying, and are thoroughly enjoyable. So there we are then, Marseille Airport in France on the Côte d'Azur, Lima Foxtrot Mike Lima. This is the version by Beautiful Model of the World, available only at Orbix at the moment. His own website is there for you to look at other sceneries he has available, but due to technical issues he can't take payments or can't take anything through his website at the moment. Some of the products, about 15 or 16 of them, I think are available in the sim market. This Marseille product is not available in sim market yet, but it is available from Orbix, so it can be purchased from Orbix at €19.20, which equates to roughly $18.80 or £16.77. Again, those prices do not include VAT or tax, and their estimates, and only available at Orbix. So thanks for joining me, folks. If you've been on the fence about wondering which of the two to buy, I hope these two reviews have helped you. My thanks again to Alexei for sending me a copy free so that I could do the review. Looking forward to any updates that he wishes to make, certainly things that I've mentioned. And yeah, great, it's really great, another nice place to fly into. So this is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another review. Thank you very much for joining me and hope you enjoyed it. Happy to talk to you in the comments, and yeah, there you go. Guys, have a great weekend. I will see you next week in the next videos that we do. So bye for now, have a great weekend. Bye bye now.